Welcome to this explainer. Okay, we're going to dive right into this today. Look, if you've ever stood under a pull-up bar, stared up at it, and felt like it was literally silently mocking you, you're definitely not alone. The thing is, getting better at pull-ups is absolutely fascinating because it's exactly like trying to beat a really complex video game. Every single milestone you chase, whether that's getting your chin over the bar for the very first time or grinding out a massive set of 30, requires a completely different strategy. You just can't beat a high-level boss with level 1 mechanics.
So I want you to ask yourself something right now. Why are you stuck at your current pull-up max? I know, it's a super direct question, but it gets right to the heart of basically the most common misconception in all of fitness. People think, if they want to get better at pull-ups, they just need to brute force it and do more reps. But think about it. If you're stuck at 0, doing more reps is literally impossible. And if you're stuck at 8 reps, simply trying to hit 9 every single day, that usually just leads to total frustration and completely fatigued muscles.
This brings us to what we call the linear myth. It's this widespread idea that you just do more to get better. And sure, maybe in the absolute broadest sense, that's true. But the reality is entirely different. The reason you can't do your first rep is fundamentally not the same reason you're stuck at 8 reps. And the reason you're stuck at 8, definitely not the same reason you can't crack 20. Your body is hitting a completely different physiological ceiling each time. If you treat it like a straight linear problem, you're honestly just guessing.
Today, we are going to stop guessing. We'll be walking through unlocking your first pull-up, reaching 10 through muscle overload, chasing 20 with body composition, hitting 30 with pure grip and grit, and finally, we'll wrap the whole thing up with the ultimate cheat sheet.
All right, let's start at level 1. Section 1, unlocking your first pull-up.
So, before we even talk about muscles, we need a quick reality check. Pull-ups are a strict bodyweight movement. If you're carrying a lot of excess weight, well, losing that is actually going to be more urgent than any pull-up program. But assuming weight isn't the primary issue, your very first boss to defeat is this concept of motor recruitment. Right now, your nervous system simply hasn't learned how to fire the correct muscles in the right sequence. It's purely a coordination problem. The muscles you need to actually do a pull-up are already there. Early strength gains in any brand new movement come almost entirely from improved motor recruitment, not from your muscles getting magically bigger overnight. The signal from your brain literally just needs a cleaner, more efficient path to the muscles. And this is exactly why someone can go from 0 pull-ups to their very first one in a matter of days rather than months.
So how exactly do we pave that path? The fix is mastering what we call negatives. Here's how you do it. Step 1, you jump or step up so your chin is already over the bar. Step 2, you lower yourself down as slowly as humanly possible. Fight it the whole way. Step 3, you reach a full dead hang with completely straight arms. And step 4, let your weight drop fully and really sink those shoulders into their sockets. That entire sequence, that's 1 rep. To effectively teach your brain this movement, you need to be doing 15 to 20 of these negatives within a 10-minute window every single day. Remember, you aren't really trying to build muscle just yet. You are literally programming your nervous system.
Let's move right along to level 2. Section 2, reaching 10 through muscle overload. Because once your nervous system is dialed in, the bottleneck completely shifts.
Okay, getting to 10 reps means your lats and biceps actually have to physically grow to handle the workload. Now we're dealing with raw muscle size. And at this stage, form becomes absolutely critical to ensure you're actually overloading the right muscles. Let's run through the key cues really quick. First, start from a complete dead hang every single time. Next, rotate your wrists over the bar so the skin actually catches. Give it a slight bend. Now, contract those shoulder blades first to initiate the movement, and then drive your elbows down toward your ribs. Remember this, your back starts the pull, your arms finish it. And hey, as you start knocking out more reps, you're naturally going to swing a little bit. Don't fight it. Just let your chest pop slightly forward at the bottom of the swing, feel it reverse, and pull again. You're going to start with sets of 1 rep per minute for 20 minutes. As that gets easier, you'll naturally hit triples, and when that happens, you'll shift to 5 sets of 5 reps, done every other day.
But listen closely, because here is the real secret sauce for this stage. Pull fast. Those 5x5 sets, they should absolutely not be casual. You need to do every single rep with explosive speed and intent. It should feel like you're trying to move incredibly fast, not just barely survive the set. The research on pull-up training is actually pretty clear here. Explosive concentric movements, meaning pulling yourself up as fast as possible, creates significantly better fatigue resistance than slow pulling. This explosive power is exactly what pushes you up toward those double digits.
Now, I want to share a really fascinating piece of data with you. 8 weeks. That is how long it took in a controlled 2025 university study for students to show significant upper arm strength gains, doing something entirely different from pull-ups.
So what were they doing for just 10 minutes once a week?
They were jumping rope. I know, it sounds crazy, but it turns out jumping rope builds the exact same forearm endurance and shoulder stability that you need up on the pull-up bar. Think about it, your forearms are constantly rotating under a load, and your shoulders literally never get to rest. It carries over directly to your pull-up numbers. Now, the source notes that obviously not everyone has the ceiling clearance for a pull-up bar or a jump rope at home. They actually highlight a company called Crossrope that makes weighted jump ropes to increase upper body load, which directly aids pull-up performance. They even have these ropeless handles that give you the exact same stimulus without needing any ceiling clearance at all, which is absolutely perfect if you're stuck in a dorm or a small apartment. The source also kindly provided a 15% off code YELLOWDUDE if cost is a bottleneck for your home setup. But honestly, whether you use a heavy rope or just spend more time on the bar, endurance is the name of the game here.
All right, let's keep climbing. Level 3. Section 3, Chasing 20. At this stage, your nervous system isn't the bottleneck anymore. Raw muscle size, not the bottleneck either. You are facing a brand new boss, body composition.
So, here is the brutal reality of high-rep bodyweight exercises. Pull-ups are simply your body against gravity. That's it. Every single extra kilo you're carrying is costing you reps. This is exactly why two people can have the exact same lat development but have wildly different pull-up maxes. Body composition is officially your new ceiling. At this stage, your training needs to shift yet again. You're going to move to 4 or 5 sets of 15 reps, and you'll be taking longer rests, about 3 days between sessions. You're no longer just building raw strength. You are building overall bodily efficiency to sustain 20 consecutive reps.
But I promise you, right around rep 18 or 19, you are going to hit a massive wall. Everything tightens up, your brain starts to panic, and you're going to desperately want to just drop off that bar. This is where a technique called the hanging rest comes in, and it's a total game changer. When that set feels like it's falling apart, do not let go. Stay on the bar at the bottom of the rep. Breathe in hard, exhale hard. The truth is, your grip can hold on for much, much longer than your brain actually believes it can. When you think you are completely done, you're usually still 1 or 2 reps away from actually being done. Take the rest you need while hanging and finish the set. Look, that first set of 20 is probably going to be a little ugly. There might be a slight leg kick in there, but you know what? That is totally fine. It still counts.
Which brings us to the final frontier, Section 4, hitting 30. To push from 20 to 30 pull-ups, you are tackling the ultimate bottlenecks. We're talking extreme grip endurance and pure, unfiltered mental grit.
Before you even think about attempting 30 reps, you have to pass this test. Can you dead hang for 3 solid minutes? Think about the math here. 30 pull-ups requires about 2 to 3 minutes of continuous time on the bar. If your hands physically cannot stay on the bar for 3 minutes while you're just hanging there doing nothing, they definitely cannot stay on the bar while you're actually pulling. You absolutely must train the dead hang first. Aim for 2 to 3 sets of your maximum hang time with some heavy rest in between. Okay, when you are finally ready to attempt a max set of 30, it breaks down into a brutal 3-minute journey. Minute 1 covers reps 1 through 20. Your only goal here is to move smoothly, use a relatively loose grip, and an easy pull to conserve your energy. You just want to get to 20 without spending everything you have in the tank. Then comes minute 2, reps 21 to 25. This is the acceleration phase. Your body's going to practically scream at you to slow down. Do not let it. You have to squeeze the bar harder and pull faster. You are literally trying to outrun the fatigue before your muscles completely shut down on you. And finally, minute 3, reps 26 to 30. There is no clever technique left here. This is the hanging rest phase. You do 1 rep, you hang, and you breathe hard. You do another rep, and you hang again. You know the physical movement perfectly by now. The only question left is how much pure grit you have to stay on that bar.
Let's wrap this all up. Section 5, the ultimate cheat sheet.
Here is your highly actionable recap of every single boss we've faced today, and the exact weapon you're going to need to defeat it. Honestly, go ahead and take a screenshot of this table if you need to. If you're stuck between 0 and 1 rep, your bottleneck is the nervous system. The fix? Daily negatives to build that motor pathway. If you're stuck between 1 and 10 reps, it's muscle growth. You need to transition to 5x5 explosive, super fast pulls. If you're stuck between 10 and 20 reps, gravity is your enemy. It's your power to weight ratio. You need sets of 15, and you absolutely must master the hanging rest. And finally, to conquer 20 to 30 reps, your bottleneck is grip endurance. Train that 3-minute dead hang and use speed acceleration to outrun the fatigue. Identifying your exact ceiling is the skeleton key to unlocking your next level.
I really want to leave you with this final thought from the source material today because I think it perfectly captures the mindset required for this whole journey. It says, Every pull-up you've ever done started the same way, hands on the bar, not knowing if you'd make it up. That part never changes. You just get better at going anyway. You know, no matter what level you're currently on, the bar feels intimidating. But now, you've got the structured roadmap to shatter absolutely whatever ceiling is currently holding you down. So the only question left is, which bottleneck are you going to conquer next time you step up to the bar? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy training.